Hi everybody. Today I'm going to read you a book called Flying is Fun. Ryan was excited. He was taking his very first airplane trip. He was going to visit his cousin in the city. Grandma gave Ryan a big hug and slipped a little sack into his hand. "In case you get hungry on the plane," she said. Inside the sack were 2 biscuits. "Goodbye, farm," shouted Ryan as he got into the pickup truck with Mother and Father. "I'll be back in 2 weeks." It was a long drive to the airport. As they got nearer, Ryan saw airplanes taking off and landing. "Is that the kind of plane I will be getting on?" he asked. "Yes, I think so," said Mother. Inside the terminal, they went to the check-in counter. The woman behind the counter looked at Ryan's ticket. She asked, "Would you like a seat by the window?" "Oh, yes," said Ryan. "I want to see everything." The woman typed something onto the computer. Then she said, "We have a window seat for you." "Do you have any baggage to check?" she asked. "I have 1 suitcase," answered Ryan. Father lifted it up and placed it on the platform. The woman tied a ticket to the handle. "Now you're all set," she said. "Here's your boarding pass. Your departure gate is number 12. Have a nice flight." On their way to gate 12, Ryan and his parents passed shops and newsstands. Ryan's mother said, "You can buy 1 thing to take on the plane." "I know just what I want," said Ryan. He chose a book. Then they had to walk through the metal detector. Ryan had seen a metal detector on TV, so he knew what it was. "This is so the guard can see if I'm carrying something I shouldn't onto the plane," he said. He even had to put his little paper bag on the conveyor belt. On the guard's television screen, Ryan saw Grandma's biscuits inside the bag. Ryan laughed. "They look like little rocks," he said. When they reached the gate, Ryan looked out the window and saw a big plane just pulling up to the gate. His eyes grew wide. "Is that my plane?" he asked. "Yes," said Father. "Isn't it a beauty?" Soon it was time to board the plane. Mother said to Ryan, "Be a good boy and mind your manners." "Have a great time," said Father. Ryan hugged them both and with his sack of biscuits and his book walked through the special ramp to the jet's doorway. A flight attendant greeted Ryan. "Traveling all by yourself?" she asked. "Yes," answered Ryan, "and it's my very first time up in an airplane." "I'll look out for you," she said. "Would you like to peek inside the cabin and meet the captain?" she asked. "Sure I would," Ryan replied. The captain showed Ryan the instruments on the panel and told him a little about some of them. "How do you know which buttons to push?" asked Ryan. "There are so many." "I went to a special school to learn," said the captain, "and I've had a lot of practice." The flight attendant helped Ryan find his seat and buckle his seatbelt. A gentleman sat down next to Ryan. "Hi," he said. "First time up?" "Yes," said Ryan. "You'll love it," the gentleman said. The plane began to back away from the gate. Ryan waved to Mother and Father, who were standing in the big airport window. Suddenly, Ryan felt a little homesick. The plane moved into position for takeoff and then taxied down the runway, picking up speed. Ryan felt the plane lift off the ground. It made his stomach feel funny. The plane began to climb. Ryan peered out the window. He saw cars and trucks on a highway. "They look like toys," he told the gentleman. Soon the ground disappeared and Ryan was gazing into the clouds and sky. The gentleman remarked, "Pretty, isn't it?" Ryan pointed to a cloud. "It looks like my pet lamb back on the farm," he said. Then Ryan opened his book and began to read. After a while, the flight attendant came by and asked him if he would like something to drink. Ryan asked for some juice. The flight attendant let down a little tray in front of him. Ryan drank the juice and nibbled on a biscuit. Ryan asked the gentleman if he would like a biscuit. "My grandma made these," said Ryan. "I'd love one," said the man. Then Ryan decided to take a nap. He closed his eyes. He could hardly believe that he was actually going to sleep in an airplane up in the sky. He also couldn't believe how quickly the time went by. He had hardly dozed off when the pilot announced that the plane would be landing in just a few minutes. The seatbelt light flashed on and Ryan buckled his belt. When the plane started to come down, Ryan's stomach felt funny again. He looked out the window, and through the clouds he could see the land below. "Look at all the buildings," he said to the gentleman. "They're so big." The plane landed. It took a few minutes to taxi to the gate and a few more minutes for everyone to gather their things. Ryan was eager to get off the plane and find his cousin and aunt and uncle. At last the passengers started to move up the aisle. Ryan spotted his cousin Michael waiting at the gate. "Welcome to the city," said Michael. "Did you have a nice flight?" "I sure did," said Ryan. "Flying is fun." So we have a sensory and art activity I'd like to share with you. For art, you can get your kids to blow paint that you place on paper with a straw so they can see how the air that they blow through the straw can move it. And for sensory, you can use a fan to feel the air. And you can hold different objects up in front of the fan to see if the air can move them or not move them. And I actually have something I'm going to share with everybody on Blooms because since I'm using my phone and it's on my phone, I can't share it here. But it's just a little activity if the children get bored that they can do, and it's super easy. So check Blooms. Okay, bye.